Wow, that's an incredible photo.
It's great. It's great. It's great.
Hard
I
to think that's 11
really,
years ago now, but yeah,
well, I mean, it's not that hard to believe.
I guess that's
Actually,
true.
we don't look that different.
Dude, I think I look very different. Those glasses, and I had no facial
What, is,
hair.
what are you, like Clark Kent, though? It's like glasses aren't making that big of a difference.
This ball is gone for a home run. It's a fake. There goes Dixon. Hurdles a man. How about that?
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Line pass caught by Des Bryant.
Hello and welcome back to Derek Likes Sports, a podcast where everything's made up and the points don't matter. I am so excited for today's episode. I got to talk to a good friend of mine, one of my favorite people on the planet, Sam Fortier. Sam is like a real journalist, where I kind of pretend to be one for, you know, I'm one on your Spotify screen. He is a real one, and he has been a sports reporter at the Washington Post for a few years now. We talked about some of the best press conference moments in the history of sports. So you won't want to miss that. Lots of really great clips of coaches and players kind of going off in press conferences. We had a lot of fun doing that. If you haven't already, subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Already, this is episode number 11. So I guess I'm going to keep doing this forever. I will do this forever, I guess. I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did. We're going to go back mid-conversation between me and Sam, where we are discussing some of the best nicknames in professional sports today.
Indiana Jones is, I think, the best nickname in the NFL now.
And he already had a good nickname.
Yeah.
Like Danny Dimes, like he didn't even deserve that nickname, and now he walks into Indiana Jones.
It's kind of unbelievable. I mean, I
It's
think
great.
Debo's a good nickname. I'm trying to think of the other top.
Is that not Debo's name?
No, Debo.
Oh,
I can't. What is Debo's real name?
I have to look it up now. Tyshawn Raekwon Samuel Sr.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, I just had never really thought about it. I just kind of assumed Debo was his name. That is a great nickname.
Yeah, it comes from that movie. Is it Friday? Yeah.
Oh.
From the movie Friday.
Oh.
Because he's like
Wow.
like a bully.
Okay. All right. You're breaking news for me. I'm learning something new right off the top. I love the nickname Bill.
Oh,
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
How did I just like totally space on?
You gotta leave with that.
Right.
It's a
The Commanders have two strong nicknames, definitely.
Does Jaden Daniels have a nickname?
He calls himself That Kid. He's had that nickname since at least high school, but he was always like That Kid Jaden. I've seen a couple like
good
customized Commanders names, but I don't know. It's not really like distinct in my opinion.
Yeah. Let's just yeah. Well, I'll have to think on that. That Kid's pretty good, but it doesn't really do anything for me.
I also don't feel like
honest.
It's like when you hear That Kid, I think you have to be deep in Commanders lore.
Yeah.
You have to know a lot about Jaden to know that they're talking about him.
That's true. That could be anyone.
It is his like social media handle, so.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't have to be that into it then maybe, but maybe you don't even
like when you hear distinctive wise, when you hear Bill, you're now like, oh, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Or when you hear Debo, you're like, oh, his name is Debo. You know, like you didn't even know. Like I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So let's. I want to talk about how we know each other. I was your TA, and you were trying to get good grades. So you were chatting up the TA at the back of the class, right? Is that basically what happened?
I think that's how it went down. Yeah, Com 117.
Yeah.
Film.
Syracuse University. I meant to pull this out earlier. Give me 1 second. So when this is great content, by the way.
I can vamp.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Oh, here we go. All right, I found it. Okay. All right. So yeah, Yeah, this was 2014. All right, right. You were a freshman,
Uh-huh.
and that's me and you. You sent this picture to me. You sent this picture to me like, I guess 3 years ago when my son was born.
Oh
You
my
sent it
god.
was very sweet. You sent a very sweet letter
Yeah.
and a nice gift for the kid and some nice pictures of memories.
Wow, that's an incredible photo.
It's great. It's great. It's great.
Hard
I
to think that's 11
really,
years ago now, but yeah,
well, I mean, it's not that hard to believe.
I guess that's
Actually,
true.
we don't look that different.
Dude, I think I look very different. Those glasses, and I had no facial
What,
hair.
what are you, like Clark Kent, though? It's like glasses aren't making that big of a difference.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I have very fond memories of that. And I just remember like it was the fall semester. So every like Monday or Tuesday or whatever we had class, we would chat up about the NFL or whatever was going on in the sports world.
I have very distinct memories of being down in the editing bay
Oh yeah.
where they had a bunch of Mac computers, which I did not really know how to use. I was not a Mac guy. And I remember you helped me like figure out what software was it? Maybe like Final Cut or
It
something.
was Final Cut, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we very it was kind of malpractice on our part to teach everyone Final Cut 10 because you can't nobody uses it,
Right,
unfortunately
right.
or fortunately. I haven't touched it since.
That's
So
so
yeah,
funny.
but
But it was
that's
like I
what yeah.
remember
So
being down there and talking about fantasy football and who to start, who to sit, how teams were playing, and dude, like I think we weren't using this terminology then, but I think that looking back, I'd be like, oh, like Derek's one of the first like true fantasy football ball knowers that I knew. It was like me and my friends were like screwing around like in rural New Hampshire and rural Maine, like where I grew up.
yeah.
And then I came to college and it was like you and one other guy that I met in my dorm who had like a lot of teams. And I was like, oh man, like these two actually know ball.
Oh, that means a lot for you to say that. I remember that was my first like semester doing that job, and I was like nervous that I was like talking too much to like my students, even though you're like 3 years younger than me, and like it's like there's not like a real hierarchy there. It's just funny looking back. Like I was like, oh, I kind of have to like seem professional, also. I guess I don't know. I don't want to like lose my job for like favoritism or whatever. The Syracuse teams were not good those years that we were there.
I don't know, man. They went to at least one basketball Final Four. But you're
Yeah, so
right.
I had moved. I was gone by then. But
Oh, okay.
I was only there for in 14 and 15, and it was like the sanctions year with
Yeah.
Boeheim, and the football team was just not good. I think it was Schaefer's last year.
It was, yeah.
And I think we had like the Riley Dixon hurdle that year or the year after.
The Riley
I can't
Dixon hurdle
remember.
was a real highlight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was the best play I've probably ever seen in person.
Yeah.
For a football game. Like it was incredible. And he's still kicking around the NFL, literally. Like we're like and then a big special teams week for Syracuse. Andre Schmidt with the game winner against the Packers.
Riley Dixon, I think, was the holder on one of the kicks that got blocked.
He was the Jets game,
but that was not his fault. That was not his fault.
Well, no, yeah. Well, yeah. What's he supposed to do? Like jump up and block the guy blocking? No,
right.
No. But they redeemed themselves. They came right back and kicked the field goal. So, right. And but I've kind of like, so you've since Syracuse. What have you gone and done? Go ahead and give me the rundown, and then I have some comments on it because I have a nickname. I have a nickname for you. I feel like you're like a lucky charm for the teams that you cover. But
incredible.
Yeah.
How in depth do you want me to go?
As in depth as you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Just talk about like kind of professionally like what you've been able to witness with sports and like stuff that you've done.
Yeah, a lot of like really cool, very lucky things, honestly. Like it's been like a really cool ride. I kind of can't believe, like, when I was a little kid, I was like, oh, I want to grow up and like cover sports and like fly around the country and write about, teams and players, and I got to do it, and I feel like very lucky to do it. I took my first semester junior year off because I had like enough credits banked up, and I went and interned at the Ringer, which the sports
I've
pub
heard of it.
website, yeah,
Yeah.
podcast network now mostly. But it had a very, like, it was one of those things where like I think like we built our desks on the first day, or we built we like built the chairs or something. Like there was like a lot of it was like a real startup vibe, and it was really cool because it was just like all the coolest people from the internet, like, going
Yeah.
in there, and I made like honestly some of my closest friends I still have there, which is really cool. And I was like fact checking Shea Serrano and Ben Lindbergh and a bunch of
Oh
like really
man.
smart, cool people. Learned a lot from them. Um, and then after college, interned at the Washington Post, then went to the Athletic to cover the Los Angeles Chargers. And the thing I always say about that is like my first day, they were still doing, everyone still had to do like a why I joined the Athletic. They didn't want me to just say like, well, like I have to pay off student loans and I'm really excited to cover the NFL, like I'm just out of
Yeah,
college.
yeah.
They were looking for like a cheap person to cover this team with like a small market. And it was like so exciting. I remember that I posted that article, and if I got like 50 emails, I probably didn't get that many. I probably somewhere around 50. Like 48 of them were people from San Diego being like, I hate this team. I hate Dean Spanos. I hope
Oh
they never
man.
win a game. And I was like,
Was that the
uh,
first year in LA for them?
second year.
Second? Okay.
I was like, I don't know how many subscriptions I'm going to be able to sell if this is how people are feeling. But no, it was so fun, and I feel like really grateful that they,
and
took a chance on me. But it was
and
like
did the Chargers went to the AFC Championship that year,
the Chargers went to
right?
the AFC divisional round.
Divisional round? Okay.
Because they got crushed in New England by the Tom Brady Patriots.
Okay. Okay. So
Um,
it was like 27, 16,
it
17,
was 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah. Because then the Patriots went to the Super Bowl and they famously like throttled the Sean McVay high flying offense Rams.
Yeah, it was like 13-3. Like
Yeah,
the
it was something like that.
yeah, like the most boring Super Bowl of recent
Uh,
history.
Bill Belichick defensive masterclass is how some people remember
Yeah,
that.
I know. Yeah, actually, I that's the last year I went to like a Super Bowl party. Was that
Yeah.
Super Bowl? And this sounds like very pretentious and obnoxious, but I just remember like like everyone there was just like bored and like, and I was just like, man, what he's doing here, like you guys don't understand, like this Jared Goff to Robert Woods connection has just been unreal all season, and they've just bottled up Todd Gurley, and oh my god, yeah, and I haven't been invited to a Super Bowl party since.
They don't want ball knowers. They just want vibes, guys.
Yeah, they just want
that's
vibes.
okay.
Yeah. So then you went. So you had to leave sunny Los Angeles.
Yeah. So the Washington
Womp
Post
womp.
called back and they were like, "Hey, like, do you want to cover the Nationals?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that sounds like
Yeah.
fun." And I really
Yeah, and
love
you'll be and if it's the Nationals, like you'll be done working, right? And at the end of September, you won't have to go through October, right?
dude. I remember being in Milwaukee, and they had like their umpteenth injury, and they fell to 19-31, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like this team is cooked." Like,
Yeah.
I can definitely make some plans for the postseason. And then everything turned around, and they were the best team in
Yeah.
baseball for 4 months or whatever it was.
I was so we both were, I mean, I'm in the DC area, so like it was just a like fever pitch around here. Like that was like the most like passion about baseball this area of the country I've felt. It was awesome. It was so cool.
It was funny
And,
because I feel like the fans, there had been so many letdowns. Like they had
mm,
great rosters. They had perfect, they had really strong regular seasons. And the people that I know who grew up around here, like even when they had a miraculous comeback in the wild card game, and even
yeah.
when, like they, were taking the Dodgers to a game 5 in the NLDS, it's like, um like, oh, like this, they're gonna Nats it, you know, they're gonna
Yep.
Nats it. And
Yep.
then Howie Kendrick hit a grand slam, and it was
Yeah.
off from there.
Yeah, it was like I'm getting like chills thinking about it because it was a lot of that. It was several years there, like during the like Bryce Harper era, where they would have like the first best or second best record in the National League, and then just flame out in the divisional series. And it was kind of in parallel with what the Capitals were doing in hockey, and the Capitals would just like they would win the President's Cup and then just lose in the first or second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and then the Capitals actually won in 2018. They like finally broke through, finally won the OV Stanley Cup, and it just kind of felt like maybe the hex was kind of broken, and the Nationals could like follow suit. And man, what a run! And then it ended up going like you thought you were going to be able to make postseason plans, but it went the season went as long as it possibly could have, went all the way to a game 7.
One of the like, yeah, the road game won every team in that World
Yep.
Series.
Yeah,
And
it was bizarre.
one of the coolest moments of my sports writing career by far was after Game 7 of the World Series. My job, like, we had a ton of people there, and my job was to write about like the celebration, like
Mhm.
after the cameras cut from the field, like what happened. And that was like, I love those type of assignments, and that's like what I did on the
Yeah,
Commanders too, is like, hey, we want an analysis, we want a step back, like when the camera stopped rolling, like what did people not see. And that's like such a fun, I'm a very competitive person, and so it's like when I'm reading the coverage after a game, like I want to have something no one else had. I want to like be able
yeah,
to tell you the thing that you don't know. And
yeah,
I just had so much fun. And so after Game 7, um one of the relievers that I was close with was like, hey, are you coming to the after party? And I was like, where is it? And he was like, oh, it's at the fourth floor at the Four Seasons Hotel in Houston. And I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely going to be there. And I remember like being on the field and thinking to myself like, wow, I'm going to go to this thing and write about it and just be like, this is what it feels like to win Game 7 of the World Series. You know, like
yeah,
this is like kind of a, for a lot of these guys, it was a line of demarcation in their lives where you like, when you're a kid, like you grow up, like that you work your whole life to do this thing. And then now you've done it. Like, what does that actually feel like? And it was funny. Like there were so many funny moments. Uh, like one of the players had like a bottle of Class A Azul. And he like brought it out onto the field, and they were like, "Okay, you can't take that in TV set." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So he puts it down, and I'm like kind of standing there watching the interview that they're doing on TV, and like these two police officers like look at the bottle of Class A Azul, and they're like, "Is that a bong?" And and then one of them's like, I don't know." And then like a third person like jumped in and was like, "Who cares? They just won the World Series. Like, no." And it was
Wait, were the cameras catching that, or were you just seeing that
no,
like
no, it's like the
during the
TV
interview?
set was like over here, and we were standing like kind of behind the plate, and they were having this
Okay,
dialogue about like, is that a
that's
bong or
very
not?
funny.
And then like,
And I was like,
everyone's
who
like
cares?
dancing and spraying champagne on each other in the clubhouse or whatever.
Yeah,
And like I remember one Nats player gave like the road clubby like $300 bills, and he was like, "Thanks for everything," just like as
yeah,
a tip. And then we went to the Four Seasons, and like it's funny because you walk like when I walked in, it was like, it's like a buffet. Like like it's like warmers with like chicken
yeah. It's like
enchiladas or
catered, like
chicken
regular, like
whatever
catered. Yeah,
quesadillas. And you're like, "Oh, like that doesn't look that good." It doesn't like, but everyone's there like with their friends and family enjoying this like very special emotional moment. People are doing karaoke, and it was like,
that's funny.
and it was weird because it was like the nights that you dreamt of your whole life like end the same way they all do. Like the bar shut down, and it was a very, I was much more eloquent, I think, in print, hopefully, than I'm being right now. But it was like, you dream this moment your whole life. It's finally here. It feels incredible. And then at some point, it's like, oh, like my daughter's tired. Like my, young daughter is
Yeah,
tired and cranky, and I have to go to bed. And I was just
yeah,
like, wow, like this is like I'm behind the velvet rope, and this is like it's wild, you know?
yeah. That's really interesting to like talk specifically about like the food. Like I never really thought about like the meal after you win a championship,
Yeah.
and like it's just a meal.
Right.
It's probably a meal that I wouldn't eat that much of because I don't know. Like that's really funny. It's just like a regular catered meal. Now that after party, did both teams have their own after parties planned with this catering? And what would have happened had they lost?
That's a great question. I imagine that the Astros, because they were in Houston, would have had it at maybe at the stadium or maybe some venue like close by.
Yeah.
But like for the Nationals, like because they were staying in the Four Seasons, they just had it there.
Yeah. I wonder if they're just like on standby. I wonder if it was like, I wonder if they had like different food for a loss compared to like to a win.
I imagine that if they lost, they all just would have like gone back to their hotel rooms and gone to sleep and been like, that sucked.
Maybe.
But maybe
Yeah,
not.
maybe.
I mean, getting to Game 7 of a World Series after like that many games is still impressive in and with of itself.
It is, yeah. But losing that. I mean, I wonder like the difference between like the Astros losing that Game 7 at home is to like the Yankees losing Game 5 last year.
Mm.
I wonder which felt worse. I would imagine Game 7 because it's right there in front of you, you know?
I would also say a little bit of like a sliding doors moment. But if the Astros win that game, then they've won. Like the sign stealing scandal came out like 3 months later.
That was after that?
Yeah. So they would have won
wow.
2 World Series while they were stealing
Oh,
signs.
wow. Yeah.
So like the Nationals really did baseball world a favor by just like getting that dub.
Kind of did.
Easily.
It makes that win. That makes that win even more special, honestly. Like,
right.
They're still beating trash cans and allegedly.
No. We have seen enough evidence. We don't have to say allegedly.
Was the Altuve like buzzer thing on the chest ever confirmed?
So, dude, it's actually funny you said that because I was at spring training the next year, and I asked Jose Altuve about the buzzer, like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like he like pulled down his shirt and was like, I got a new tattoo. That's why I was like, I got the tattoo of my daughter's name on my chest. And so we never really got to the bottom of that. I don't think.
Yeah, it was just weird. And like anytime you have like an actual scandal happening, every weird thing you do is going to be thrown into like the microscope. So maybe it was like an innocuous thing, but maybe it wasn't. I always like try to like Altuve mainly, and it's a stupid reason, but mainly because he and I are like the exact same height and weight. So like I have like a soft spot for because like if a professional athlete is my size, I'm not the size of the usual professional athlete. Yeah. Maybe like a gymnast, but or a jockey. But that's an amazing story, and like so. You go to the Chargers, they have a playoff run. You go to the Nationals, they win the World Series, a franchise that was just not ever anywhere close to that. And then after that, what you the Washington team, right? The Washington Football Franchise FC.
The Washington Football Franchise FC is.
Now, were you there for a season when they had the name?
So I was in spring training covering the Nationals, and I remember this so distinctly. They called me and told me to go home because this thing, like the coronavirus, was breaking out.
Oh.
And so I came home, and then like a couple days later, I ended up talking to my boss, and he was like, "Hey, like, do you want to cover like the Washington's NFL team?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that sounds like a lot of fun." And my mom was like worried. She was like, "Hey, like, is that a promotion? Like." Cause the Washington football team like kind of sucks, and I was like, and I was like, no, it's the NFL. It's like, I was the backup on the Nationals. Like this, I'm gonna be like one of the lead writers. Like this is great. And so, that happened, and then this is actually I think a good story, but it's like 4th of July weekend. I'm back home in Maine, visiting my parents, and my dad and I like go hiking every year, like part of the Appalachian Trail. We really like to do that. And I get this new job, but I'm like nervous because it's the first time I'm gonna like be off the grid. But I'm like, it's 4th of July weekend, nothing's gonna happen. So I like called the PR guy and I was like, hey, like I'm about to go backpacking with my dad in the woods. I'm not gonna have cell reception for like 2 days. Is that like, are we good? He's like, yeah, no problem. And then 2 days later, we're coming out of the mountain, and I find out that like Nike and other corporate sponsors like were like, you need to change the name, and they announced that they were gonna like potentially change the name, and I was like, oh my god, like I just felt like so much FOMO and like, oh, I'm bad at my
Yeah.
job. I should have been there, like it was
Yeah.
crazy. And then like a month after that, we published our big investigation, which ultimately led, to um, sidelining Snyder, and then he sold the team, and so it was like a
Right.
very turbulent time. And then in my last season, they draft Jaden Daniels, and they go to the NFC Championship game. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, your track record. Chargers. They move to LA. They go deeper in the playoffs than they really have as a franchise in recent history. Nationals win the World Series. The Commanders, the Washington football franchise, do probably the biggest thing they've done and the best thing for the franchise that they've done in 30 years, and that's like get rid of Dan Snyder and then go to the NFC Championship game. So the lucky charm for Washington sports. I wish you would go cover the Wizards just because they could use a little bit of help. Maybe that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I was really, a very impartial sports observer, sports reporter, but like when the Wizards had the chance to get the number 1 pick and take Cooper Flagg, a Maine guy, I was like, oh my god, a guy from Maine being the number 1 pick in the NBA, like that might never happen again. Like he needs to come to DC, but obviously didn't work out.
It didn't work out. Yeah, they plummeted. They also, I mean, could have gotten Wimby also, but
that too.
No, they can't have nice things.
Yeah. Yeah, only
maybe
the state of Texas gets all of them, apparently.
Yeah, it's just the state of Texas. Yeah. The Wizards get a couple years with Jordan Poole. That's what they get. In the 1 year Russell Westbrook era, that was really special. But you know what? I got to go see Wimby play when he came to Washington, so that was nice. It was they made it like French, like Heritage Night or something like that.
They're really good about that. I like tabbing in like, international community, because like when Giannis comes, it's always like Greek Heritage.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've I'm always like, I see your byline and stuff, and I'm always like, I know that guy, and I'm like riding your coattails of success, as you make waves out there. So I'm sure you've gotten pulled into a lot of press. I mean, not pulled into, but your job is to you attend a lot of press conferences. So I thought what might be fun for us to do, just as the last thing here, is to kind of let's look back at some legendary press conference moments. We're gonna watch them, and then I'm gonna actually have you rank them how you think they're best. So I picked out 7.
Okay. Rank on what sort of criteria?
Fashion mostly. No, like however you want. Like how memorable they are, how like memeified they are. Like some of these, like we quote like all the time, and people may quote them and not even know like where it's from or like the context of it. So let's I'll play the first one, and then we can go from there. Let's see if this works.
The Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Thanks, Coach.
My favorite part of that whole thing is at the very end, the guy going, "Thanks, Coach."
Yeah.
That's just so funny.
That's an iconic, like a lot of the clips that I imagine you'll play, like the thing that people don't see a lot of times is how often the PR guy standing off to the side is like stressing and like trying to control the situation. It's tough.
Yeah. And also I like you don't get a sense from any of these angles like of the reporters in the room and like their reaction and like who he's looking at and how like So it's yeah, they're fun. This was actually Denny Green. The context of this was the Cardinals just had blown a huge lead to the Bears. And then they went on. The Cardinals didn't have a good season that year. They finished 5-11. Dennis Green was fired, and that was his last season coaching in the NFL. And he sadly passed away a couple years ago. So R.I.P. Denny Green.
One more thing I want to point out on this.
Yeah.
They had just lost to the Bears, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm looking at the ticker, and the fact that Rex Grossman won a game in which he went 14 for 37 and threw 4 picks is like if you lose that game,
That's true. That's true.
That's tough. That's a tough look.
Yeah. And the Bears like coming in were like 4-0, and the Cardinals had won 1 game. And I want to say the Bears went to the Super Bowl that year. I think this was the year that the Bears went to the Super Bowl and lost to the
Colts.
The Colts.
Wow.
And Rex Grossman also in that game had like 6 turnovers, which I thought was a winning formula. But yeah, no, Rex Grossman, like wild. And a Washington connection there. He ended up, was he in Washington? No, he was in Washington after that, right?
Yeah,
it was after
Sexy
the
Rexy.
Bears, right? It's Sexy Rexy, yeah. All right, so that's the first one. Let's go to the second one, another NFL.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
That's Herm Edwards from his time with the Jets. Context of that one, they had just lost to the Browns to fall to 2-5. And after that speech, they finished the season 7-2 to get to 9-7 and sneak into the playoffs. And then they upset the Colts in the wildcard round.
No way.
Yeah. So that one actually, like, I don't know, it may have made a difference, like, to the team. I think that's, I was listening to that this morning. I was like, that's just like good life advice. You know? Like, it's just, all right, let's go to the next one.
I mean, I might have missed 1 practice this year.
I knew this was coming. I knew this one was
if
coming.
If somebody say he doesn't come to practice, it can be 1 practice out of all the practices this year.
I love that he's wearing
enough.
a Red Sox hat.
If I can't practice,
I don't understand why.
Man, I'm hurt. But
but I like
it's easy to talk about. It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Well, Coach, I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice.
I love this.
Oh, it's just iconic.
I love it so much. And what I love about it, sorry, my cat is like, she loves to be the star of the show, and she's just making a lot of noise. What's interesting about this one is I feel like the context was lost at the time. And like, I feel like Iverson was kind of unfairly criticized for this, but like clearly what he's saying is like he missed a practice. Like he missed like 1 practice and was like being like interrogated about it in a weird way. I don't know.
Ken Babb, one of my coworkers, wrote an awesome story about Allen Iverson that gets into this. Yeah. And this practice moment in particular. And like, I do think that Allen Iverson was such a cultural icon in a way that transcended basketball. And I think that that gets lost a little bit. And it's also, but he did, like, you know, Ken has so many stories in that book about, like, which is awesome. And I think the title is actually Not a Game.
Oh, nice.
It, like, he would like run sprints backwards. He would eat ice cream and hot dogs before practice. Like, he was just like a supernaturally talented guy. But he comes across as a very like complicated, tortured figure in the book. And I think that like, you know, like that soundbite to me like, also in the same way that Iverson did, like, transcended sports, like, I remember, like, going to my friend's house and, like, his dad, Jim Stevens, being like, "We're talking about practice?" Like, when just, like, as a to be like, "It's time to go to practice, like, you guys should get in the car," you know? And it was just like, like,
Right.
we were in New Hampshire and, like, 10 years old or whatever, and we knew what that was, and so, like, that,
Yeah.
just, like, it resonated.
Yeah, like, and that was, like, pre-internet, and it still was, like, ubiquitous. Like, everybody I mean, it wasn't pre-internet, obviously, but we didn't have, like, today's internet.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like, everybody still knew this quote. And, like, people who don't even follow sports probably have heard someone be like, "We're talking about practice?" And so it's just, yeah, that one's iconic for sure. Let's do. I got another one. Which one was I gonna do next? Oh yeah, this one's.
And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
So that one and the Denny Green one were famous. It was like a Bud Light commercial that used those clips.
I think so.
So people probably saw those that way. Context for that one: the Colts had just lost to the Niners to fall to 4-6. They did win another game, but they did not make the playoffs. They finished 6-10. That was Jim Moore's last season as an NFL head coach. And then they hired Tony Dungy, and Peyton Manning became one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Rest is history. But yeah, that's a classic one. And that's another one that you just hear people quote like all the time.
It's the sort of thing where, kind of to your point about like pre-social media, that went viral. And I think probably for the same reason that like a lot of TikToks do now, like just the way he says playoffs, like
the voice
like
crack is so good.
That verbal tick, like, I think really gets to people in a fun way. And so I think that like, it's just like, it's a cool like artifact from like a previous era. And the fact that like it was still able to get, as viral as it was.
Yeah, I also love the line that kind of gets lost in it. That, in my opinion, that sucks. It's just so funny. All right, let's.
You can talk about the vacation, and if you do that, it's really unfair. It's really unfair. It's my team. It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair. We lost as a team. We lost as a team, man.
That's so good. You could take that into like a acting monologue, like for an audition, and that could be what you audition with. It's like so dramatic. So that was Terrell Owens in 2007, 2008 season. Cowboys were 13-3, second best record in the NFL behind the 16-0 Patriots. And then in the divisional round, they lost 21-17 to the Giants. And yeah, that was sad. But and the other context of that was like Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson apparently went to Cabo during the wild card round, during the first round bye, and maybe rightfully so, were criticized for that. And that was Terrell Owens' quarterback, and he was defending him.
One of the things that I don't think I had noticed about that clip until just now is how much him wearing sunglasses kind of adds to it. Because usually, like, when people get emotional, I've been in scrums where people get emotional or they're upset about something, and you can always see it in the eyes, like when people start to get upset, like, or and like they're the window to the soul or whatever. But like,
right.
The fact that you cannot see his eyes and you just have to look at like his mouth and like the way that he's and like hear it in his voice, the way he's kind of choking up. I think it's actually like a very interesting dichotomy or very interesting like presentation where you can't see this and you're still getting the emotion.
Yeah, like you can tell. You don't even need the sound. You can tell this is a sad man,
right? Yes,
even without seeing his eyes,
right?
Yeah, a lot of people thought this was like put on. I don't know, man. I think he was genuinely upset. And maybe it wasn't like specifically about like defending Tony Romo. Maybe I don't know. This felt like real emotion to me coming from Tio.
No, totally. And I think a lot of the things, like, for a lot of these clips is I wish we could hear the questions that were asked, because I think that people overrate sometimes, like, the questions that were asked. Like, I remember Ron Rivera exploded at my friend Matt Paris when we were in Chicago in 2022. They'd just beaten the Bears, but a report had come out earlier in the day that Dan Snyder was, doing some cartoonishly villainous thing. And Paris just asked, like, he just said, like, ESPN report, I think, and Rivera, like, exploded. And so it's like he was gonna do that no matter how it was asked or in what way it was asked. And so I think that, like, sometimes the people who haven't been in as many press conferences, it's like, oh, the coach knew that that was gonna come up and was gonna make a statement about it. Or, like, sometimes it is the way the question is asked. But sometimes it's just like, this is what's on someone's mind. Like, I like, especially for the playoffs and, Herm Edwards, I would love to hear, and this one too, like, did someone say, like, was it, because that's Dallas and, like, they can definitely be a appointed media crew, but, like, did someone say, like, how pointed was the question about Tony Romo that then made him feel so defensive or upset?
Right. The question was actually what brand of sunglasses he had on. Those But that's a good point. But a lot of times, like in those pressers, like the reporters aren't even mic'd, so you don't even you actually can't even hear it, even if you watch the whole thing. But yeah, maybe I'll dig into some of these and see if I can track down. But a lot of times the only like relics of these on the internet are like the moment, not the actual thing. But that's a good point. Like people are going to talk about what they want to talk about. And I have a great example of that. And this one, I planned this before today, and it became very timely today, actually.
I was wondering if you were going to play this.
By a mother of children. If your child goes down the street and somebody makes fun of him because he dropped a pass in a pickup game, or says he's fat, and he comes home crying to his mom, you'd understand. That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me or our coaches. Who's the kid here? Who's the kid here? Are you kidding me? That's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
Yeah. So that one's actually like 3 minutes long, and now the cat is laying in front of me here and might knock over the camera. So if that happens, you'll know why. I love right out of the gate here. This might be my favorite line in it.
This was brought to me by a mother of children.
A mother of children.
Yeah, it's so good.
Funny. It is so funny. I had to cut like 2 minutes out of this because it is like 3 minutes long. If you've never watched this entire thing, I kind of recommend it, especially today, because Mike Gundy actually was just fired from his head coach of Oklahoma State. This happened though so long ago. I saw a post that I don't know. I would classify as assault. The post said that the player that Mike Gundy is talking about in this clip where he says he's a man, he's 40. That player is now 40.
Stop.
And yeah, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that at all.
That's too much.
Do you know the story about this? Like who this was about and like what? So I'm gonna get the names wrong, and I don't have like all the details about it, but there was a quarterback situation. It got benched. A reporter for their like paper of record wrote like kind of a odd story about some of the behavior of the quarterback that was benched. And Mike Gundy kind of blew up on her. And I think that's like the one thing I'm uncomfortable with here is that like he really singles out this female reporter and like really goes after her specifically. Like that felt a little icky to me a little bit. I mean, I like that he's like defending the kid and all that, but and then that quarterback and Mike Gundy kind of had a falling out like years after that because somewhat to do with the situation, but they eventually made up, and then he actually worked on his staff for a little bit, so they actually have a good relationship now. So happy ending. But yeah, I mean, this is like iconic. Like that, I'm a man, I'm 40 is just, it's so good.
It's like, honestly, it feels like of all of the coaches that all of the clips that we've watched, he feels the most aware of like the theatrical performance that he's giving. Like, he brings out the newspaper. He is like ready for this. Like, it feels like he potentially rehearsed parts of this because he's like, I have this bully pulpit and I am gonna use it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, there was no question here. This was how he came out, and he was ready for this. Like, again, it's like a monologue for auditioning for like a film role. Yeah. And actually that happened, it was either September 21st or September 22nd. So we're recording like right on the anniversary of it. I think it was the 22nd, and I even had the thought, did they wait to fire him till the day after the anniversary of it? I'm sure they were thinking about that, right? It's like this is the most iconic thing Oklahoma State football has ever done.
Ever. Not close.
It's not close. It's not close at all. All right, one more, and I'm probably gonna, this one's very repetitive, so I may skip through some of it.
When my time start? Oh, it started? Well, then let me start. Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined.
This was another one that went on for
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
5 or 7 minutes.
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
The only thing...
You still here because what?
So I won't get fined.
Deion Sanders with the question at the end there. I mean, he was just there, so he didn't get fined. And that was before... Do you know which Super Bowl this was? This was the Patriots one, right?
That's a good question. I think it was the Patriots one, but I don't know that for sure.
All right, let's rank these, and then we'll get out of here, because we can't just talk about it. There has to be a winner. You watch these to win the game.
Yeah, I have a very clear. We're ranking them first.
You can just first through fifth, and then 2 honorable mentions, I guess.
The first honorable mention to me is Herm Edwards. Like,
okay,
you play to win the game. It's obvious. He wasn't overly theatrical. It wasn't, it's a good press conference moment.
Yeah.
But there was nothing I felt that like, it's not as iconic as the others, and it's not as like, the magnitude isn't as big. So that's why I would say first honorable mention.
All right. Congratulations, Herm Edwards, on your award. The certificate will be in the mail. All right. So who's the second honorable mention?
I would say, for similar reasons, I would say playoffs.
Oh wow. Okay.
If they had said, if they had gone on to like win the Super Bowl or make the playoffs or have done something like that made it a better story, maybe I would be more into it. And I do think that there's a lot of value in, like, kind of what we were talking about earlier, the vocal tick, the cadence of, hey, like, this went viral pre-social media. That's impressive. But maybe it's just because it's older. I don't know. Like, I wasn't, it didn't move me in that way.
Sure. Yeah, they kind of flamed out after that. So, all right. Yeah. Mr. Jim Mora, who I had to look up. He's still alive. He's 90 years old. I actually kind of thought he had passed away. But he is not. So
90 years old is impressive.
It is. Yeah. Is Jim Mora Jr. anywhere coaching?
That's a
Wasn't
good
he
question.
like the UFL for a little bit?
Yeah.
I can look that up later. Listeners, let me know if Jim Mora Jr., if you're listening, let me know where you're coaching. All right. What we got? Fifth place.
I'm going to go with, man, this is tough. I would say, the Terrell Owens clip. That's my quarterback.
Okay.
I think it gets bonus points for being emotional. It seems like he's being earnest. It was after a playoff loss. You know, the Cowboys still haven't been to the NFC Championship game in X number of years. I covered one of those divisional losses where Dak slid, against the Niners and the clock ran out. And I remember like Jerry Jones being in the hallway and like just like really feeling like, hey, like this was the best roster we were going to have, obviously like trading Michael Parsons and stuff was not on the table at that point, but it just felt like, hey, like this could be the window closing on the Cowboys. And I think it was. And so to look back and think to yourself, like, okay, the last time it felt like that, or one of the last times it felt like that, when T.O. cries over Tony Romo going on vacation with Jessica Simpson, like, I'm like, actually, now that I'm talking this through, I'm like, damn, maybe it should be higher than 5th.
You can do that if you want. Yeah, no, it's a weird one to look back on because they lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions, and I don't think people at the time thought that was possible, right? I think it was the Patriots Super Bowl to lose, and so that I think right after they lost, it was like, well, whatever, they weren't going to beat the Patriots anyway, but who knows? So, yeah. All right, so what are you gonna do? 5th or higher?
Let's put that one 4th.
4th, okay. All right.
And now I'm gonna say, okay, now I'm gonna do 5th.
Okay.
Which I think is Mike Gundy. I'm a man.
Mike Gundy,
I'm
5th.
40. 5th. Yeah, I think that like for me, so when I watch, and I don't do it often, but like when I see clips on social media or when I watch, when I walk in the office and it's on TV, like I don't watch First Take that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Stephen A is like a great performance artist. Like a couple years ago, he said, like he was talking about like the Chiefs game, and he said 2 players who were not on the Chiefs. And it's like, and people were like bashing him for that. Because they were like, oh, Stephen A doesn't really know ball. And it's like, no, you're totally missing the point. Stephen A is paid to like get up there and give a Shakespearean monologue and be memeable, to give his quotes, to do his faces. And I feel like Mike Gundy in this way is like kind of precipitating that.
That's a good take, I think.
Like he was up there using his platform to like create a soundbite. And the reason it's 5th and not higher, I think, is for the bullying aspect that you pointed out. I did not realize that a female reporter wrote it. And I don't like, I think a lot of what he's done since is like, he makes you definitely grimace, but it does feel like, there's something like he really understands that he's on stage and he's delivering lines. And I just kind of respect that.
Yeah, there was even some like blocking, like in terms of like when he was going to move across. Like I don't know, it did seem very like directed almost. Like
totally.
Yeah, man. All right, Mike. Tough day for Mike. That'll be okay. You'll land on your feet. All right, we got now the metal positions: Marshawn Lynch, Allen Iverson, the dearly departed Denny Green.
For 3rd, for the bronze medal, I'm gonna give that to Marshawn.
Marshawn Lynch. Why is he here?
She's here so he doesn't get fined. And I'm giving it to Marshawn because I think he does the performance art in the same way. It's sort of at the beginning of what we now would call the player empowerment era.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like him getting up there and talking about money, like later he has this, like when he retires, he had that whole like take care of your chicken argument, like, or quote, which I just think that like Marshawn is being true to himself. And also saying like, I have a lot of power in this scenario and I'm going to use it. And even though it's repetitive and maybe not as fun to watch, I do think it feels like a moment in a way.
Yeah, that's a good framing of that. And now he's a sideline photographer. Did you see that clip of him like talking to Marion Hampton in the Chargers game?
No.
I forget which game it was. I think Marion Hampton had just fumbled, and Marshawn Lynch like walked over to the bench and was just like talking to him. No idea what he said, but it was just a funny clip because Marshawn Lynch was like photographing the game. He's another one of those like athletes that has gone on to be a fairly decent like sports photographer, like Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson, I think also. All right, Marshawn, bronze medal. There's another great Marshawn interview moment where he's talking about like he's like you hit a guy in the face and you do it over and over and over and over. That's another
and over.
And over. There was also another. I tried to get another TO one. Do you remember when he was doing sit-ups in his driveway, and he was having like a contract dispute with the Eagles, and and he called a bunch of reporters over to his house and had them like watch him work out, and then he was like doing sit-ups in his driveway, and they were asking him questions, and he was just like, "Next question." Next question. And it is great. It's amazing. I couldn't find a good clip of it to pull though.
That's so funny.
All right, so who we got? Runner up and our champ.
For the bronze medal, I gotta give
silver.
it to Denny. Or excuse me, yeah, the silver medal. I gotta give it to Denny Green.
Denny Green.
And the points that he gets here, I don't think that like maybe this one's not as recognizable outside the football universe, but the points I'll give him is he's honest. Like he's really upset and he's honest. He's just like, hey, they are who we thought they were and we let them off the hook. Like he's like really frustrated. He's like taking ownership of like, we should have beaten them and we didn't get the job done. And that is so frustrating. I think that like, you play to win the game is deflective, and they are who we thought they were and we let them off the hook is sort of introspective.
That's a really, it's so rare to hear like a genuine admission of like responsibility.
And also like they're bad. We knew they were bad. Like you always get, well, they're a great team with great competitors, blah, blah, blah. And it's like Bill Belichick makes the 0-16 whatever sound like, the 72 Dolphins. But like he's saying, we know we're better than them and we let them off the hook. And it's like, I love that. That's raw. That's real. And I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Denny Green. And it definitely feels like the most like genuine outpouring of any of these, I think. Like I don't think he went into that press conference knowing he was going to do that.
Totally. And I that's why, and I think going to the gold medal to Allen Iverson, I think that is a genuine emotion. Like I think he is legitimately telling you what he thinks. And like Mike Gundy and Marshawn Lynch, I do think it's important. Performance art is, like I get that. I think it's cool, but I think there's nothing better than like, here's why I actually think what I think on this topic. And like for Iverson, it's like, why are you asking about practice? Like I'm a hooper. I go out and I'm like the best player on the floor every night. Like who cares? And I think that there's a very legitimate counter argument to give him about like, well, like practice is important and it helps your team and it helps your teammates. But for AI, like we're getting the most uncut, least PR trained version of people, him and Denny Green. And I really just like, I love that so much.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
You never got a championship ring, but you do win the press conference gold medal. One of my favorite players ever. Just great. He's just so fun. Sam, thank you so much for doing this. It was so good to talk to you. I think you froze. A beautiful smile on the freeze, though. As far as freezes go, like you can't do much better than that. I mean, that's like a head. Oh, now you're on here. Whoa.
We my computer died. We talked so long, Mike. I forgot to plug it in.
Oh man, that's funny. I was just thanking you, and then I was complimenting the free. Can you see the freeze frame here? Are you able to see it? Oh man, I have it, and it's going to be in the final product for sure. It's a beauty. You just have a great smile on your face as your camera froze. But I was thanking you for doing this. Really appreciate it, man.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I really love talking through those things, and I'm sorry my computer died, and I'm glad I was able to get on here and do that.
Yeah. Do you want to plug anything or any of that stuff people do?
You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, X, at SAM4TR. You can read my work in the Washington Post. That's, yeah.
Beautiful. Cool. Well, thank you. And you'll have to be back on again. If you had fun. If you had fun. That's what
Derek Thomas. I always like. You're not the legendary Chiefs linebacker, but you're a pretty good podcast host.
And that is it for today's show. Thank you again, Sam, for coming on. I had a lot of fun talking to you and listening to those clips and ranking them. Be sure to follow Sam on social media and check out his stuff for the Washington Post. They do some amazing journalism there on the sports side, and definitely deserves the clicks and the reads. So if you are interested in sports and you're listening to this, so there's somewhat of a chance that you're interested, check out his stuff. It's really great. Be sure to follow the show on Instagram, Derek Likes Sports. Follow it on Blue Sky, Derek Likes Sports. Subscribe on YouTube. It's Derek Adam Thomas. That's that. If you do all that stuff, you shouldn't miss any of the content that is put out. And that's all I have for you today. So go have a good rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoy all the episodes, especially this one. This is my worst outro. This is abysmal. I kind of just want to keep it because it's so bad. I haven't received anyone's Halloween costumes. Nobody has told me what they're going to be for Halloween. This is very important. Email us at dereklikesport@gmail.com with what your Halloween costume would be. And I'm just going to keep refreshing my email inbox until something comes in. Thank you for listening, as always, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.